The Lexington Regional Preview on the College Baseball Experience of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your entry with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Sign up today with promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by the Mega Memorial Merch Sale. 15% off of everything in the SGPN merch store with promo code SGPNMay. And it is showtime once again here back on the College Baseball Experience with our third regional preview of the week. Lexington Regional, the number 2 overall seed, the Kentucky Wildcats, are hosting this regional here. We are previewing all 16 regionals, and you know we're already 2 in. We did the super regional duo between Knoxville and Greenville. Now we're going to go over to Lexington and Corvallis as the next 2 episodes here. This regional is being played at Kentucky Proud Park. This ballpark plays a little bit deeper to the right-handed power hitting teams. It affects some of the SEC teams more than others when they visit Kentucky Proud Park. It's 335 down the left field line, 375 in the power alley to left center. Center field is 400 dead center, 365 to right center, 320 to right field. I will say this field of 4 teams here, Western Michigan, Indiana State, Illinois, specifically Indiana State plays in a big park. This shouldn't affect them too much, but Illinois being a really offensive heavy team, this is the team that I think this ballpark will affect the most, as Illinois is just 8-10 on the road here, and they struggle to pitch well. Whereas Western Michigan, also being a really powerful offensive team, they're 15-7 on the road. I think they might have a fighting shot in this regional to, play spoiler against one of these teams. What's going on, Adam Smith? And how about Tyler saying that's the dorm room regional? Apparently, they're not staying at dorm rooms this year. So shout out to Kentucky and Lexington for reserving some hotel rooms for the visiting teams, players, coaches, family, friends. They did the right thing this year. All right, let's dive into this regional. At minus 155, the Kentucky Wildcats are the favorite to come out of the Lexington Regional. Under coach Nick Mingione, they went 40-14 this season. They split the SEC regular season title. They went 21-6 at home at Kentucky Proud Park this season. This Kentucky team is an all-around great team. They don't really excel at anything with the sticks or on the mound. However, they consistently get that clutch hit. They run the bases extremely well. They're not afraid to lay down a bunt, but the Cats can also hit the long ball. UK is 19th in steals per game and 41st in WRC plus with a 117. Nationally, Kentucky has the 16th best fielding percentage. Nick Lopez was a first-team All-SEC player this season. He's an excellent defender. He hit 369 with a 10-16 OPS, 54 runs, 49 RBI, and leading this team in the power department is Ryan Waldschmidt and Ryan Nicholson. Waldschmidt tore his ACL in the Cape last summer, and he has been tremendous. He's been a tremendous comeback story, hitting 357 with an 1141 OPS and 13 homers. Nicholson leads the Cats in homers with 18. The weekend rotation here, I don't project any kind of switch-ups, any kind of matchup plays from Kentucky. Game 1, I expect Trey Poozer to get the ball. He's a grad right-hander with a 5-1 record, 4.02 ERA, 64 strikeouts, 27 walks in 69.1 innings with a 389 Sierra. Game 2, Dominic Nyman, a junior right-hander, or he's a left-hander. I don't know. I think I might have screwed that up in my notes here. Hold on. I'm pulling this up right now to make sure that I have it all updated. Doing all 16 regional previews, baby. Grad left-hander, 8-4 with a 5.94 ERA, 62 strikeouts, 22 walks, and 66.2 innings with a 3.93 SIERA. And then going in game 3 here, I expect it to be Mason Moore, the junior righty, who's 8-3 on the year, 5.40 ERA, 70 strikeouts, 42 walks, and 78.1 innings with a 4.33 SIERA. In the bullpen, Travis Smith started the season as the Friday night starter for Kentucky, but an injury removed him from the fold for a large period of time. He returned to the mound for the first time this past week in Hoover against LSU. It wasn't a great appearance, and he will probably remain in the pen for the rest of the season, but the stuff plays. Johnny Hummel and Robert Hogan are two of the go-tos out of the pen that has a 5.29 overall ERA on the weekends. They'll be playing Western Michigan in the first game of this regional here. Western Michigan finished the season 31-21. They were 15-7 on the road. They're currently plus 1,800 to win this Lexington Regional. The Broncos excel at the plate. Western Michigan own a 116 WRC plus, a 315 batting average as a team, which is the 11th best mark in the nation, and 5 regulars in the lineup have batting averages over 300, and 3 of them with an OPS over 1,000. CJ Richmond leads the MAC in batting average with a 398, and he also leads the league in OPS at 1187 and is tied for 5th with 60 RBI. Cade Sullivan also has a 397 batting average this season with an 1104 OPS and 10 bombs. Lastly, Dylan Navarre leads the Broncos with 15 long balls. The weekend rotation goes as follows. Just if it goes back over with full rest for all of these guys, this is kind of how it's been in recent weeks for Western Michigan. Brady Miller, 6-5 with a 6.70 ERA, 73 strikeouts, 23 walks, and 83.1 innings with a 3.75 ERA or SIERA, at the end there. So if you look under the hood, the SIERA, it's an advanced analytic, valuing, balls put in play on you, whether they're hit pretty hard. And I mean, look that stat up. I tend to value it more in college baseball than I do in the majors, mainly because if you're looking at FIP, a lot of these college baseball players, they don't have the same kind of strikeout stuff as MLB pitchers do. So yeah, I think SIERA is more valuable in college baseball when balls are being put in play more often. Nolan Vyshek is the second starter for this team. On paper, he's the better one of the two between him and Brady Miller. So I think he gets the ball in game 2. He's 5-3 on the year with a 4.15 ERA, 90 strikeouts, 21 walks, and 82.1 innings with a 2.97 SIERA. And then going in game 3 here is DJ Thompson, a sophomore right-hander who's 4-2 with a 4.50 ERA, 25 strikeouts, more walks than strikeouts with 26, in 48 innings with a 4.50 SIERA. He's only started 5 games this season with 18 appearances under his belt, but recently he's been a starting pitcher for this team. So I think he goes in game 3. On the weekends, the Broncos bullpen has been able to hold it together with an impressive 4.52 ERA. Some of the notable arms that they'll bring out of the pen is Luke Thielen with a 3.79 ERA, 54 strikeouts in 40.1 innings, and Turner Duran with a 3.62 ERA, 40 strikeouts in 32.1 innings. In this first game, I'm not going to go bold. I'm taking Kentucky with Poozer on the mound up against Brady Miller, who has a 6.70 ERA in the MAC. I'm not really breaking the mold there with an upset prediction. Before we get to the 2-seed and 3-seed game in the first round, join me on the College Baseball Experience throughout the road to Omaha as the show is the industry leader in NCAA baseball gambling analysis. The tournament begins Friday morning, May 31st. During the week leading up to Friday, listen to all 16 regional previews or the bracket picks episode to make sure you get down on some of the best priced futures available. Join the College Baseball Experience bracket group to compete against myself and some of my friends in the college baseball gambling space and at SGPN. Prizes will be announced soon. Also, I will be releasing daily betting picks episodes throughout the entire tournament. Experience the better side of college baseball with the College Baseball Experience. Underdog Fantasy is available in 30-plus states, including California, Texas, and Canada. They also just launched their Champions, which is their player versus player format in Florida. Sign up today with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. And if you're betting on NBA player props, then you need to download Rhythm. RITHMM. Rhythm gives you a menu of the best player props for every single NBA playoff game, making it easy to go through and find the best props to put your money on in seconds. From superstars to bench players, Rhythm finds the best player prop lines, and all backed by AI data without you needing to endlessly scroll a sports book. Start a 7-day free trial and start winning your NBA player props with Rhythm, available wherever you get your apps. All right, we're back here in the college baseball experience. Crutch goes, not talked about enough, how teams who are willing to run often put pressure on the opposing pitching staff / defense to not make any mistakes. Talking about that Kentucky team here. We're going to jump over to the 2-3 seed matchup in the opening round in the Lexington Regional. Indiana State's plus 260 to come out of the Lexington Regional. They finished the year 42-13, 18-9 on the road. Coach Mitch Hanna's Indiana State team has a very similar makeup offensively to Kentucky, minus the aggressive base running. The Sycamores aren't elite at really anything, but they hit for average, power, they get on base, and that all accumulates to a 120 WRC plus, which puts them in a tie for 27th in the country with, ironically, Illinois. This year's Sycamores team is a little more dangerous at the plate than last year's. First baseman Luis Hernandez, shortstop Randall Diaz were both named to the MVC first team. Hernandez is a native of Puerto Rico, led the Sycamores with a 373 batting average, and led the Missouri Valley in both hits with 79 and RBI with 68. Hernandez also had a career-high 21 home runs this season as well. Diaz hit 15 bombs with a 341 batting average, and on the mound, Brennan Cutts was awarded the Missouri Valley Conference Pitcher of the Year. In Game 1, remember Jared Spencer from last year? The tall, lanky arm, 6-0 this season, 4.09 ERA, 71 strikeouts, 31 walks, in 50.2 innings with a 320 SIERA. Game 2, Missouri Valley Conference Pitcher of the Year, Brennan Cutts. Another right-hander who's 6-1 with a 379 ERA, 71 strikeouts, 39 walks in 76 innings with a 375 SIERA. And in Game 3, Luke Hayden with a 7-2 record, 367 ERA, 84 strikeouts, 43 walks, and 73.2 innings with a 379 SIERA. The SIERA there is really important to me because, I mean, all three of these guys, very, very good starting pitchers. And if you look under the hood, they're really kind of performing to kind of expectation. And when they get out of conference, that's a huge number, because when you look at some of the mid-majors, they might have great ERAs because of the competition that they're playing. But when they step outside of the conference and they're getting hit hard in conference, but it's not, transitioning to runs scored against, the better teams usually are able to sustain rallies. These guys are they're ending rallies. They're also not getting hit hard against the competition that they're currently playing. So it should be able to translate pretty well. Plus, this bullpen is pretty good. Senior right-hander reliever Zach Davidson is an absolute stud. He owns just a 2.41 ERA, 80 strikeouts in 52.1 innings with just 17 walks. Sophomore right-hander Jacob Pritt is also a weapon in the back end for the Six with a 2.80 ERA, 55 strikeouts in 35.1 innings, and only 19 walks. Overall, the pen has a 3.33 ERA on the weekends. The 3 seed here is Illinois. They're plus 550 to come out of the Lexington Regional. They finished the year 34-19, 8-10 in road games under Dan Hartlib. This is his 19th season with Illinois. The Fighting Illini are an offensively driven team. 27th nationally with a 120 WRC plus, and they're also top 25 in homers with 103. Jacob Schroeder leads the way in that department with 14 tanks, a 1063 OPS, and a 314 batting average. Camden Janik leads ILL in hitting with a 368 average and possesses an outstanding 455 on base percentage. This is where it gets a little shaky for Illinois on the mound. Game 1, I projected to be Jack Crowder, the senior right-hander. He's 7-2 this season with a 5.25 ERA, 75 strikeouts, 38 walks, and 82.1 innings with a 4.32 SIERA. In game 2, it's Cooper Omens, the grad left-hander, who's 4-1 with a 3.73 ERA, 56 strikeouts, 28 walks, 60.1 innings with a 4.11 SIERA. Game 3 is a true TBA. Totally juggled around recently for Illinois. They haven't had a cemented third starter. And also, just the depth of this pitching staff isn't great. On the weekends, the Illini bullpen has a 5.77 ERA. And recently, it's been probably even worse because that was the main reason for their early exit from the Big Ten tournament. They kind of ran out of pitching. So Illinois is not a team that I'm high on coming into the regional. I have Indiana State winning that game 1. Jared Spencer is an animal on the mound. I think he's able to keep Illinois at bay. And then your losers bracket game is going to be Western Michigan, Illinois. And as I mentioned earlier, WMU has Nolan Vyshek in the mound on game 2. That's their best pitcher, honestly. 90 strikeouts and 82.1 innings with a 4.15 ERA. Going up against Illinois' second guy and Cooper Omens. And then, a day after using their bullpen in a game that they're trying to win against Indiana State, Western Michigan, going to be fighting for their lives to just get one win, be happy with themselves in a regional. I think the Broncos are live against Illinois. I'm going to take Western Michigan to win this game over the Fighting Illini in the losers bracket. We're going to have Illinois going Tune Barbecue here. In that winners bracket game, it's a really interesting one. Kentucky, I like I said, I project Dominic Nyman to pitch for the Cats here up against Indiana State's pitcher of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference and Brennan Cutts. I'm going to take Indiana State in this game. Cutts has been super solid this season. Nyman's been a little bit iffy lately, but that was SEC conference play. So it's tough, a tough prediction here for me personally to have to decide between the two. I personally think, though, if Kentucky falls into the losers bracket, they've got a great shot to come out of the loser bracket and end up winning this home regional. I feel like this one goes game 7. I think Kentucky wins that game, whether it be Western Michigan, whether it be Illinois in the losers bracket. They get back to that regional final against Indiana State here, and I think they end up taking down Indiana State. Luke Hayden is the game 3 starter for Kentucky. Kentucky is going to probably mix and match, and they've done that for most of the season as well on the mound. And their bullpen's solid. And Indiana State, I think if you're able to drag Indiana State into the deep water later on in the weekend, that's where some of the depth could come into play, where the SEC, you're the co-champ in the regular season, you're going to be able to prevail over the Sycamores. I really think that the 260 price on Indiana State's really interesting compared to the minus 155 on Kentucky getting out of the Lexington Regional. So if you're playing a future in this regional, Indiana State's not a bad price to play. But personally, I think Kentucky over the long run is going to be a little bit overlooked. I think a lot of people are looking to pick against this Kentucky team. A lot of people have defied them, doubted them throughout the season, and they defied the doubts, defied the odds, consistently winning games with the aggressive base running style, with the clutch hitting. I like Nick Mingione. The team's energy is outstanding. They're a very fun team to watch. They look like they are really enjoying themselves out there on the field. This team, they fit the Hoover trend that I love. They're actually the only team that played exactly 3 games in Hoover this year in the SEC tournament. And this is going to be probably the last year that this trend really kind of holds its weight because of that weird format. So since 2017, there have been 20 SEC teams in the NCAA Baseball Tournament that played exactly 3 games in Hoover. 13 of the 20 went to Super Regionals, which is 65%. 10 of the 20 went to the College World Series, which is 50%. And 2 of the 20 won the national championship. And last year, LSU and Florida both played 3 games in Hoover, and they played each other in the national finals. So currently, Kentucky, they're the only team that fit that trend in this year's SEC tournament. I think the way this trend kind of works is you're only really playing 3 games. You keep your entire pitching rotation kind of in order, steady, ready to go. Even though Kentucky didn't necessarily do that, they brought Nyman out of the bullpen. They were tinkering with some relievers and starting roles, and they also brought back Travis Smith. But I like Kentucky coming out of this regional for my bracket. I just feel like a lot of people won't be picking the Cats to come out of here with the rate that I think they do project to come out of this pool. So minus 155, I'm not betting Kentucky to come out of here. I would actually recommend, if you do want to bet a team to come out of this regional, I would bet Indiana State. However, 16 regional previews. We're previewing them all. Check them out. Also, a bracket picks episode later on in the week. Join our bracket pool over there on D1 Baseball. I don't know if you can search it, but it's called the College Baseball Experience X SGPN. The link is in the description. Thank you all for joining the College Baseball Experience today. Adios, amigos.